Clearly
Off
topic.
Two friends,
One unique conversation.
driven to learn, inspire, create, and understand.
All right, okay, listen. We're just trying to be good humans and make the world a better place.
How hard could it be? Welcome back, everyone, to Clearly Off Topic. I'm Juliet.
And I'm Lindsay. Hi, guys.
Today,
Welcome back.
welcome back. Sorry, Lindsay, I cut you off. I'm just so excited for today's episode. It's so uplifting and feel good. I can't wait for you guys to chime into the conversation.
Oh my God. Juliet, you're the worst troll of all of them. Listen. Guys, today's episode's going to be a little heavy, maybe, potentially. We don't really know yet. We haven't recorded it. But
We're gonna get there.
we're going to get there.
It all started with a tweet.
It actually all started with Juliet going to Kansas.
my
So
goodness.
let's talk about that.
All right, guys, everyone, girls, guys. I went to Kansas for a friend's wedding, and while I was there, I met some interesting people, some Kansas Cityans, Missourians.
Oh, you also learned that you say Missouri wrong.
Yeah, I do. Missouri is not the word, guys. It's Missouri.
Yeah.
Write it down.
She got told.
I got done told in an aggressive manner. It's weird. So it's my commentary on Missouri. I'm never going back. It was terrible. I did not like it there. There was almost a tornado. It was
Good old Kansas City.
Whew, it was not good. But one of my biggest pet peeves about it was that I met a bunch of people who had false information.
Yes.
False information is dangerous.
Yeah, it really is. Especially if it's something that you're trying to form an opinion around. You
Yes.
need to be able to educate yourself when it comes to any topic. It doesn't matter if it's what you're doing to your body because of your health.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if it's, about making good food choices.
Business choices, banking choices.
Exactly.
Don't be lazy. Research. So
Yeah, you have to.
you have to research, and it sucks because a lot of information is coming from people who we are supposed to trust.
Yes.
Like the President of the United States, Mr. Old Trumpy there. I mean, Donald Trump, President, whatever you're supposed to say.
Mr. Trumpy?
Mr. Trumpy. So, before I went to Kansas City, I saw this on the internets. And, of course, I researched it, and it is true, folks. You have to fact-check the internet, turns out. Weird.
What do you mean? If it's on the internet, it's true, Juliet.
Yeah, totally. It's
Yeah,
totally true.
it's definitely true if it's on the internet.
So, I highly encourage you, if you think something doesn't sound right, please do your due diligence.
Yeah, make sure, because 90% of the time, if it doesn't sound right, it's not right.
It's not right. And sometimes when it sounds right, it's still not right. But anyway, this is a direct quote from the President of the United States. All right? It's about our very fun topic today, abortion.
Yeah, and this in particular is about New York, correct? Yeah. Okay.
Well, this one's about New York, and he had a press conference, and he basically says, quote, "The baby's born. The mother meets with the doctor. They take care of the baby. They wrap the baby up beautifully. And then the doctor and the mother determine whether or not they will execute the baby." End quote. I don't know what accent that was, but it was supposed to be Trump. Lindsay, when you hear that quote, what do you think when you hear that quote?
Well, so when you sent this to me, first off, I was just like,
what?
Who? Okay. Well, I had a lot of opinions, but this was crazy to me because that is just not true.
It's not true.
That is not true.
So I heard,
just like Planned Parenthood selling baby parts.
Oh, my Lord.
It's not true.
My Lord,
It's just
Lindsay,
not
it's
true.
just
If
not
it
true.
sounds too bad to be true, it's most likely true. If it woofs, it's probably a dog. If it meows, it's probably a cat.
But you might as well double freaking check. So I go off to Kansas City with this quote in my mind, and I'm like, I can't believe the president said that. It's so crazy. But, he says false information a lot, a great deal. That's not an opinion. They're literally a fact.
That's literally fact.
Yeah,
it's
that's
fake
fact.
news all the time, constantly.
Fake news on his side. So I went to Kansas City, and I met some people who were very welcoming and nice at first. And Missouri has recently passed a law about abortion. I believe it's an 8-week law. So I talked to them. I asked, how do you feel about this abortion? And I got so much hate. And I think they wanted Jesus to save my life right there. They never asked what my religious background was. And we should do an episode on religion in general. But they never asked. They just got very angry at me. And they proceeded to tell me that New York will slit the throat of babies who have just been born. And I said, that's not true. What are you talking about? And they said, no, it's true. And I argued with these people for a good amount of time about whether or not New York executes children. And they don't, guys.
Obviously they don't.
Obviously they don't.
Okay, first off, back up, because this lady was talking to her about Reiki healing and yoga.
I
and
thought I was safe.
Stuff. Yeah, Juliet really thought she was safe in this moment. Like, they had been talking for a little while. Juliet probably had some wine in her.
A lot of wine.
A lot of wine. But anyway, so like you kind of, when you start to meet people who have the similar ideas about life as you and are kind of open to these, like, you know, different spiritual practices than you would typically find in Missouri or Kansas City. Like, you just think, like, oh, okay, well, this is somebody who's like-minded. And I guess it might have been bad for us to, like, or it might be bad for us to assume that, right?
Yeah, I never will assume that again.
But at the same time, you just kind of assume that if somebody is open to these, like, alternatives to life, like alternative lifestyles,
they're willing to see things from multiple perspectives.
That's what I was thinking when you first told me this story. And I think it's really important to be able to develop that in your brain, to be able to sit down and see from somebody else's perspective, walk with somebody else's shoes on, you know, like these are quotes that we've heard like our whole lives, especially if you live in America. You know, sometimes you have to go walk in someone else's shoes, and you have to just look at it from their perspective to understand. Because especially with something as like heated of a topic right now as abortion is, you have to be sensitive to the fact that, like, some people have emotions on this based off of religion, and they're very serious about it. And if you like smite their religion or say something negative towards their religion, that is basically like, you know, messing them up.
Yeah, that's wrong too. You shouldn't do that.
Yeah, and so people have these opinions based off of emotion that they have attached to this topic, right? And you have to be sensitive to those emotions. And I feel like what you encountered, Julia, was people who had an opinion and had no sensitivity toward what the other side could potentially be ever.
But also or blind, they just blindly believed something they read. Like, I looked it up. I said, New York killing babies. Like, I literally Googled it, and a bunch of religious articles came up. Tons of them. No. And then that quote came back from Trump. So they're getting two forms of information, which is a publication that they trust, but it is religious based, and a president who is known for saying falsities. So they have two pieces. But if I dug just a little further, and I said, okay, New York law abortion, and in 2 seconds it popped up. Read the entire law online. It's actually very interesting. And it cleared up that late term abortions, it's still murder to kill something that has been born. If a baby is born and then you kill it, that is murder in the state of New York and any state that allows it. And if your doctor and the mom are like conversing about if they're going to murder the baby or not, like, you should not have your baby in that hospital. Like, that's not a place to, or unless that's what you want, I guess. If that's what you want, that's what you want. Medical professionals all take the same oath. They all have like the principle. I don't know what exactly it's called. Well, I don't think that anybody who's a doctor really wants to like kill somebody else unless they're like harvesting organs, I guess. Not on purpose, but there's a code of conduct for all medical doctors, and it is to treat beings that are alive, to treat people and to keep their welfare, and they're not going to kill a baby that was just born. It's just not it. So for those of you who are confused or maybe shaking your heads and you're like, Juliet and Lindsay, it's not true. I read it on Christian Mingle that people are slitting baby throats. Okay, let me just tell you what late-term abortion means. Yes, let's talk about this. Late-term abortions are defined in different ways. So some states ban abortions after 20 weeks, okay? National data does indicate that that's really rare. People don't have late-term abortions unless there is a pretty big reason. And aren't those reasons like, I mean, we read this article together. So a lot of those reasons are you know, that the mother's life is in danger, or that it's going to be a stillborn, or that there's no potential for that baby to live past birth. It's because that fetal viability. Fetal viability. If it has no fetal viability, which is what Lindsay's talking about, then they can abort because there is a medical reason. And that is the Roe v. Wade standard, by the way. Like the fetus at viability is Roe v. Wade standard. So like, after that, it's like, come on, you can't like have an abortion after that. Like, that's terrible. Like, well, then send the kid to adoption. Well, that would be it. If someone came in and said they wanted an abortion, it was late term, and they did not have a medical reason, then the doctors, by law, because it's the law not murder people, because they will get arrested. They will give them counseling. They'll give them counseling. They will help set them up with services, and they will go with those options. It's just simply untrue. Also, 65% of, I think did I already mention this? I don't know, but 65% of abortions happen in the first 8 weeks.
Yes.
Okay, people find out they're pregnant and they're like, oh, I'm pregnant. I can't, afford it. I don't want it. Whatever your reason is. I have too many kids already. I was raped.
Many
Any
reasons.
of those reasons.
Yeah. I was raped. I was this is a child of incest. Like, this is, whatever it is. Like, this is a child of sexual abuse. They
know it. They know they don't want the baby. They don't wait around till 20 weeks when
I would say that like most people
65%.
Yeah.
That's the statistic.
Yeah. So it's just also, I don't know, I'm a woman and I feel like I know my body and I know what taking care of a baby entails. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that's all women, but I kind of think that like it's sort of common sense. Like, you've definitely seen a kid around. Yeah. You've definitely seen an infant just in like living your regular life, right? So like a woman knows what having a baby is going to entail. So like obviously that's not like 15 and 16-year-olds. They're not, I wouldn't consider them women yet. I don't think that they are aware
they're
enough
not
at
even
that age.
Looked at as adults under the law.
Exactly.
Like if we're just going by laws here,
that's
they're
true.
they're not even adults literally by themselves.
Exactly. So it's just that we know how much this entails, right? Like we know that our body's going to change. We know that we're going to have to push it out or cut it out or do something and that's going to be expensive. And then like I think that every person knows what the hell a diaper is and how much they
cost.
Maybe not how much they cost, but that they know that they're a lot and that you need a ton of them.
Yeah.
Like I think that's just pretty general knowledge. It's like in movies, you know?
Yeah. I just want to correct these stats because I'm just like
Juliet is freaking
I'm so
out.
bamboozled.
We're so mad right now.
I'm just bamboozled that people don't have the smarts to go freaking look this shit up on their own on a computer.
Yeah.
If you have access to computers, you have a smartphone, double, triple, quadruple fact
Honestly,
checked.
even if you don't, like go to a library. Like there's
you can find information.
You can find information if you
do
look
not have
for information.
if you don't have the right information, it is your damn fault. So go
True.
Google something. So, all right, of the 65% of abortions that happen before 8 weeks, okay, 34% of those happen in the first 6 weeks.
Yeah.
People are like, crap, I need an abortion. That
baby
having
could
access
potentially
to
not
that
even have a heartbeat.
Probably doesn't.
Prior
And
to
we'll
6
get to
weeks.
that.
Yeah,
what
we'll
I
get
think
to
about
that in a minute.
What I'm saying is people they don't wait around for abortions. So whoever thinks that people
are like 8 months pregnant and having an abortion.
I mean, it's just nonsense. No one wants to have an abortion. No one wants to carry a baby full term and then kill it. That's insanity.
Yeah.
So
no,
if you're in a state
not.
like Alabama, who's not allowing you your right to your body.
Yeah, literally, there is no in Alabama right now. Or it's pending. No, it's passed now, isn't it?
It's passed. It will
100%
be
passed.
implemented next year.
Yes. So pretty much, Alabama has made it an outright felony to have an abortion, which is a little crazy. And it is kind of nice that they did put this in there. I'm going to read this part. They said this bill would make abortion an attempted abortion felony offense, except in cases where abortion is necessary in order to prevent serious health risks to the unborn child's mother.
Oh, how nice of them.
So, okay, hold on. Let's take a breath here and a step back. Like, at least if there is, like, a health risk involved, maybe you will be able to have your abortion.
If you have the right doctor.
If you have the right doctor. It's true.
You know there's going to be doctors who interpret that differently.
Yep.
And that's fine. They're open to interpretation. But I'm glad that we've marked that. So you do know if you live in Alabama, that's your step.
But it's also a felony for a doctor to perform an abortion.
So wait. Oh, unless it was a medical necessary.
Yeah.
So we have a great quote, actually, from a doctor in
California.
Is on Twitter. We loved it. I thought it was great. And I've heard people who echo this sentiment as well.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the quote from John Zhao, MD. Is that how you say his name?
Yep, I believe so.
John Zhao, MD. We're gonna Instagram or tweet at you later. But
yeah.
Quote. So if I perform an abortion for a woman who was raped in Alabama, I would go to jail for many more years than the rapist himself? Cool. Makes sense. Not insane at all. End quote. Thank you, John. You don't seem insane.
Yeah, it is a little insane. I mean,
you can go to jail for longer than the rapist, which is another whole other issue that rape is not treated.
I agree. And we get to, I mean, if we want to make this a political podcast, we totally could. Juliet and I have so many things we could talk about.
I hate politics, but this isn't politics. This is human rights.
This is human rights, and this is wellness, and this is accessibility. And one of the things that I think Juliet brought up or is going to bring up that I really want to talk about is like how many abortions, like basically how fewer abortions there are happening now than have in the past.
That, yes, and how it's directly related to crime.
Yes.
Before we do that, talking about accessibility.
Yeah.
If you are in like a state like Alabama or Georgia or the places that are passing these and you need an abortion, you know, California loves you guys, but we don't offer late-term abortions. But there are 7, now 8 states that allow, there's no limits on gestational abortion. So it's up to you entirely. You can go to Alaska, Colorado, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, Oregon, and Vermont, along with Washington, D.C., which is a city, not a state. So you can still find a place to have an abortion if you need it, if it's something that you feel that you need to have happen. Don't give up hope. I'm not telling you to get an abortion. I'm just telling you that if
that's what you want, then you
still
can
have access. Because
to it.
I think it's dangerous when you have a misinformation and say you're a young kid who is living under their parents' roof. You got pregnant, however way that happened, whether it was by choice or by force, and you don't feel like there's a way out, and you can't have an abortion. That person is now probably contemplating suicide. I would much rather have them go somewhere and get an abortion and save their life and turn it into a good thing and have children later.
Yes, I agree.
Yes.
I 100% agree. So let's go over the states that have passed or are about to pass these new abortion bills, because there have been 8. So Alabama, Georgia, Kentucky, Mississippi, Ohio, Missouri, Missouri, Arkansas, Utah.
Utah, come on.
Yeah.
Mormons,
so, Alabama is definitely the most extreme. Most of them, it seems like, are around the 6-week mark. And that's, okay. Arkansas and Utah are like heading up the back at 18 weeks. That's like the middle of your second trimester. And the fetus at viability Roe v. Wade standard is 24 to 28 weeks. So that meant that, like, federally, that is the legal term limit. Like, you cannot go past 28 weeks, no matter where you are in the United States. Doesn't matter. So it's a little frightening, because why are we going backwards? I think this is something that really bothers me. Accessibility to healthcare is something that it's obviously been a big deal in the last couple of years in this country, and women's accessibility to things like birth control and Plan B and honestly condoms. Planned Parenthood, I remember going there, they literally give you bags of condoms. Like, there is no reason for anybody who has ever been to a Planned Parenthood to ever get pregnant with the amount of condoms that they give you. And they're free. And if you walk in and you say that you need them, they will give them to you. Yep. They do a lot of things there that are really great for everyone's health care. They do HIV testing and all forms of STD and STI testing. They do pregnancy testing. They obviously, do administer abortions, I guess, legally in the states where they're allowed to now.
They do mammogram exams.
They do a lot of women's health.
Yeah. And men's health, too. A lot of people don't believe that Planned Parenthood does men's health.
Oh, yeah, they do prostate health and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
They'll definitely check you out. They'll give you, honestly, they'll give you a physical.
Yeah.
Like, they will.
Yeah.
And it's a great thing, and that accessibility has allowed so many women to not have to have, drastic measures and big procedures. It's just, accessibility is so important. So if you're taking away the accessibility of abortion, it's just one step closer to taking away another right that we have. And that's what scares me the most. And that's what makes me so angry. Why are we going backwards? Like, why? Why do we have to go backwards? Why are men making up rules about what I can do with my body?
It's like people are not going to have abortions just because they can have them.
No, it's not fun.
It's not fun. It's not a good thing for your body. It's not something that anyone wants to do. I think people need to realize nobody wants to have an abortion.
Nobody's like, ooh, goody,
I get to have an abortion. No one wants
Nobody
that.
wants
but you
it.
want the choice, because talking about accessibility, guess what? If someone has an unwanted pregnancy because they can't afford it, because it's dangerous for their health, whatever your reason is to not have the baby, if you're forced to have that, your accessibility to better jobs, to income, to freedom of your life, not because you have an infant now, but because financial freedom is directly linked to accessibility to reproductive health. I want you guys to comment and ask me, Juliet, there's a problem in the world. How does this relate to reproductive health? And I will show you every single problem in the world can be traced back to accessibility to reproductive health.
It really is.
And family
I
planning.
mean, here's the thing. If there's, okay, so we talked about like babies being born that are not wanted. Like, let's just start there. People have sex. If you're religious, I'm sorry that you don't want to do that, and that's your choice, and good for you. But there are people out there who are, and just because you have made a choice to not do that doesn't mean that other people's choices are not valid.
Boom.
And like, if you're religious and you don't want to have sex until you're married, that is totally wonderful. And like,
do it.
Like,
Don't do
I
it.
honestly like props to you, because that's hard. And it's like, that's a beautiful commitment to make to each other, and good for you guys. And well done. But if you don't want to do that, like, you judging the other person's decision is not going to make, like, that's not going to do anything. It's not going to do anything but make people angry.
It's also not going to stop people. Making abortion illegal is not going to stop abortions, guys. Sorry.
No, it's not.
It's not.
It's not. They've
It's
been
just to make them
happening.
unsafe.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they were happening in the 60s and in the 70s before Roe v. Wade. Like, all of this was happening before then. This was happening hundreds of years ago. There actually is a bunch of, like, there was a doctor who put together, like, a big slideshow. I saw it a couple of years ago. I'll try to link it in the show notes when I post it. But basically, it's a doctor showing, it's like a post-it note, and then him holding up a chemical. And it was all of the different types of things that he had encountered of women trying to do to, like, end a pregnancy themselves without going to see a doctor.
Yeah.
And that is scary. That is what frightens me about these abortion bills, is there's people who are putting bleach up themselves.
Yep. And
There's
probably
women who are
dying.
trying to, like, perforate their cervix. There's people who, like, excessively exercise or excessively, like, overdose on drugs so that the body can't, like, hold on to the fetus anymore. And what you don't understand is that women are just going to end up harming themselves if they don't have access to these things.
Yep.
And
or just going to other states and
Yeah.
spending money, time, effort, taking off time from work to go to a different state to have this procedure done. You're not going to stop people from getting abortions if they want them. And making them legal is not going to make more people have them. That's not what's going to happen.
It's actually the opposite of what's happened.
It's the opposite of what's going to happen. Yeah. Okay, also, for people who don't know, and I get it, some people are not hippity-hopped with the baby weeks and what a gestational period is. So 20 weeks is like halfway. It's like halfway through the pregnancy. A full-term baby is born anywhere between 37 and 42 weeks, okay?
Oh my God, that's far too long.
That's far. So when people are talking about 20 weeks, wow, like, yes, you're far along, but you're not quite even at the halfway mark when you think about it in those terms.
Yeah.
So people need to not think that 20 weeks is like a fully formed baby.
Yeah, it's not. And that is also really important to know is, I mean, it just goes back to what we were talking about in the beginning. Like, check your research. Look at what you're looking into. This is something that Juliet and I talk a lot about. Like, I talk to my sisters about this. Like, you shouldn't be voting if you don't know what you're voting for, right?
Yeah.
So you shouldn't be drawing opinions and not be willing to listen to other people's opinions and just hear them out.
Yeah.
Because if we just did that, not everybody's constantly trying to flip everyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not constantly trying to flip anybody, but if you ask me my opinion, I'm going to tell it to you. And if you don't like that opinion, that's okay. It's my opinion.
Preferably a fact-based opinion.
Yeah.
If you're yelling falsities at me, I will argue
well,
with
if
you.
you're yelling at anybody, they just shut down. Like,
Yeah.
this is a discussion that I have at work all the time. I'm like, you can't yell at people because all people do, like, I'm yelling at you right now. Well, this is what I tell people. I'm like, if I'm yelling at you right now, you're not listening to me.
Yep.
So that's why I'm not yelling at you. And so you can't just yell at people in general. Like, it's not going to get through to anyone. And B, like, those facts that you're screaming better at least be facts and not just things that you read off of one website on the internet or that you heard on a news station. Like, honestly, everybody gets things wrong, and it's not always their fault. Sometimes it's just a mistake or they misunderstood something. So you have to check for yourself. You have to.
You have to. And we were talking off air a little bit about when does the heartbeat happen? What's this heartbeat thing? And
Yeah, because a lot of them passed heartbeat bills.
Heartbeat bills.
Which is basically, I mean, honestly, it's the majority of them. So they say that a baby's heartbeat happens, what did it say, between 5 and 8 weeks?
Yes.
Somewhere in
different.
that.
Yeah.
It's different depending upon who you are and what the baby is and
how many babies you got
how
in
many
there.
babies you got in there, I'm sure. But yeah, so there's basically a period where that baby doesn't have a heartbeat. And what Juliet and I were talking about is like, okay, well, why does the heartbeat matter?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, the reason I think that,
and this is our opinion.
This is our opinion.
Let's say that right now. Like these are all our opinions.
We're deviating from fact now, and we're going straight opinion.
Yeah. Now we're going to talk about our opinions about these things because, while facts are facts, and you can interpret them any way you would like. Our opinion is obviously that this shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah.
Like, we're going backwards.
We're going backwards. One fact before we go off the deep end, 'cause I don't know if we'll get ever back to facts once we get riled up. So one of my favorite books is called Freakonomics. I think if you haven't read it, you got to. It's a very quick read.
Good.
It's so good. I've read it 3 or 4 times. There's a whole chapter in there about abortion, okay? And how after abortion was legalized, the availability of abortions differed all over the country, right? So after it was legalized, certain states won it, certain states didn't. It sounds like now. Before Roe v. Wade, it was just really hard to get an abortion in different places. So that was in the 70s, right? From the period between when it was legalized till like 97 or something, I'm screwing up the dates, guys. From 1985 to 1997, the states that legalized abortion had a drop of 30% in their crime rates, as opposed to other states who didn't have abortion. The crime rates stayed the same or got higher. But in the states where they allowed abortion, crime rates plummeted. Why do you think that is?
I know exactly what that is. Because babies aren't being born into a world that they can't be fed and things like that. Like, you don't have people going through and stealing things and robbing places to sell stuff on the streets if you don't have something that you have to, provide for.
Also,
I mean, you do. You still have people who do that, but the number of those people goes down when there's not people who are in distress.
If you're in distress, you're going to be strapped for cash. You're going to do some really weird things to try and get what you need. And then also, children born into a world where they have less are more likely to do drugs. They're more likely to get involved in gangs. Not all of them, some of them, it's just a more likelihood. That will also, for future generations, 30% increase in 10 years. Okay, in 20 years, is it going to be a 60%?
Yeah, it's going to keep going up if you keep having all of these children unborn, like, who not need to be born, but who aren't wanted in this home that they're coming into.
Or even, not even just not wanted, not
cared for,
even able to be cared for.
That's true.
And then the stress on the system. Okay, so now we're going to go into opinion. I'm done with facts, guys. I'm done with it.
Juliet has had her computer in her lap this entire time, and I'm just chilling over here in the corner.
I'm done with facts. The heartbeat thing. Long story short, I've spent some time in neuro ICUs, right? And those people are taken off life support. They're in there for brain injuries, right?
Yes, like, your brain is basically what allows
you to live.
It allows you to be a functioning human.
Dick Cheney had 6 heart replacements. What are they called?
Oh my God! Yeah. So you can literally have your heart replaced.
You can have your lung replaced. You can have your liver replaced. You can have pretty much every organ replaced.
Yeah, your appendix, they just take that shit out.
Well, you don't need that. I don't know why it's there. Lindsay doesn't have one. It's fine.
I don't have one.
They took it out. She was like, I need to be lightweight, aerodynamic.
Yeah, aerodynamic. Take it out.
So your brain is one of the things you can't replace. So why are these laws all about heartbeat? We kill things with heartbeats all the time.
Yeah. Do you eat burgers?
Time. Yeah. We euthanize dogs.
Oh my God, don't say that. Lucy's here.
So she's quiet. People throw puppies out on the street. They got heartbeats and brains. Yep. So people are killing things with heartbeats all the time.
All the time. Constantly.
Do bugs have heartbeats?
I don't know. I killed my pet fish, he technically had a heartbeat before I forgot to feed him.
Well,
I did. I forgot to feed him. So
Lindsay,
sad.
don't tell me. Now I'm sad. So what I'm saying is that we kill a lot of things that have heartbeats.
Yes.
And if you have a heart problem, you can get a heart transplant. You can get a pacemaker. You can get lots of things done.
You can get medication to fix it.
Yep.
You can do a lot of different
things.
If you have a heart attack, which used to kill anybody who had one, you can get surgery and they'll fix that thing right up.
Fix it right up. You have a problem with your brain because of an injury or a mental disorder.
We've witnessed this firsthand.
We've witnessed this firsthand. you're not coming back from that, okay? They call,
or not at least the same.
Not the same. That's why they call motorcycle riders organ donors, because their body's fine.
Yeah.
But their brain doesn't work, so they're not going to survive this. And to me, it makes absolutely zero sense
for the heartbeat
to be this, because the brain forms a lot later. And we looked it up, and their first zaps, like what is it?
Zaps are at like 8 weeks. That's
8
like
weeks.
the first electrical activity or whatever.
There you go,
brain.
electrical activity. So it's not necessarily a fully functioning cognitive brain.
It's not a brain yet.
That happens. I think we should really be going off the brain. That's my opinion for the day.
Yeah, and a doctor would obviously have to give us insight on like when the brain is really actually forming,
freaking Google.
forming or formed. Yeah, we do have Dr. Google. But yeah, I mean, I totally agree, and this is obviously opinion, but I think that
says age 25.
Oh my God, perfect! Just kill all the under 25-year-olds. The world would be a much better place. It'll be much calmer. Maybe not, actually. But anyway, the brain being developed is really important. You can't, if your baby is born without a fully developed brain, it's going to have problems. It's going to have issues. And that's okay. But if the heartbeat is what we're basing all of these laws off of, we just have to be really careful, because that doesn't signify life. I mean, I guess it does if you're talking about, like, does the person have a heartbeat? But you cannot have a heartbeat and come back from that.
Yeah.
They can shock you and your heart will start again. Like, yeah.
Okay, all right. The brain...
Look at Julia reading. I wish you guys could see her.
I know.
It's hilarious.
I'm adorable. Okay, so it starts to form around 9 weeks, and then it's like fully basically formed around 12. That's a lot more time, guys.
That's a lot more time. And if we're gonna base it off of anything, if you really need to make abortions illegal, like if you
why do
really
you need to do that?
Yeah,
why do we need to do that?
We don't need to do that.
Why do we need to make abortion illegal?
You are literally taking somebody else's body and making it a law. That's not okay. We don't need to be we do not need to be dictating what people are doing with their body. Like, listen, if you smoke weed every day, good for you. If you choose not to, that doesn't make the person who smokes weed every day a bad person. That doesn't make them a murderer either. In the same way that having an abortion doesn't make you a murderer.
Yeah, because murder is technically a fully formed human outside of another human.
Yeah, you
that
can't.
Is then killed.
Yeah, I mean,
that's murder.
Yeah, that's murder. I just don't.
Law speaking.
I just don't understand.
I didn't make it up.
Why. I just don't understand why men are making decisions about our bodies, Juliet. Like, this is our body. Like, has that man ever had a period? Absolutely not. Does he have to worry about carrying a child? Absolutely not. Does he have to worry about the health risks? Like, my mom had gestational diabetes when she had me. Like, I mean, that'll happen. They don't have to worry about that. They don't have to worry about every time they have sex with somebody, like, potentially getting pregnant.
Can we just tell all men to get vasectomies? Like, if you don't like abortion, then you get a vasectomy.
Then you get a vasectomy.
Because you can't cause an unwanted pregnancy if you have a vasectomy.
Yeah.
And you can still, nothing happens to you. You still enjoy sex.
Yeah.
You still
nothing changes.
Ejaculate.
It's
literally
just
nothing
blanks.
changes.
It's just blanks. There's just no little spermy guys rolling around.
Yeah, so if you're a man out there and you support non-choice, you support non-choice, and you don't want people to have an abortion, then you should just go get a vasectomy and do the world a favor.
But is that technically the same as abortion, because you're cutting off the potential of an unborn fetus?
Women are the only people that can provide life. Men don't have that superpower.
But yeah, I mean, I guess we get really heated when anybody tries to tell us what to do, honestly.
You try to tell people, look how Prohibition went. You try to tell people not to drink, look how heated it got.
Yeah,
that was
it
just
got
having
so
fun.
bad.
Party.
Literally, like, the mob was created because of Prohibition. Like, you can't make that up.
Yeah, that's
like, you restricting all of this stuff is not going to make it less accessible.
Yeah.
It's just going to make it dangerous. Mm-hmm. And that's what scares me for all of the women who live in all of these states. I mean, like, if you're a woman and you need an abortion, come on over to California.
But not too late. You gotta go to New Jersey or something.
Yeah. True. But I mean, yeah, like, it just this shouldn't be a topic that we have to keep talking about. Like, Supreme Court decided back in 1973 that it was, like, fine.
Yeah, why are we
doing this?
I mean, I hate to say slippery slope, so I just won't do it. But it is a very giant step backwards if they overturn Roe v. Wade. I don't think they can.
I don't know, man.
I just don't.
That crybaby who's in the Supreme Court now. Sorry if you like him. I think he.
Not sorry if you like him. That's your entitled to your opinion.
Yeah, that's true.
And our opinion's just stupid.
Yeah, we can be dumb sometimes. But he was a crybaby, and that made me sad.
Oh my God, he's just
women get told they're too emotional in the workplace, and then that happened on national television. So
that's kind of funny.
My dad was all mad, and I was like, "You're trying to tell me I'm too emotional at work? Look at this guy; he's crying. He's going to be a Supreme Court justice."
Oh goodness, the country's a mess, but it's always been a mess.
It's always been a mess. That's true. It's a constant state of mess. But I feel like we have to make sure that what we're taking in, whether it's political, whether it's about health and wellness, whether it is about a law that's about to pass, no matter what it is, you have to take in information that is correct. Mm-hmm. You have to check your facts. You have to know that if you're going to have an opinion about something,
make it an educated one.
Make it an educated opinion.
That might be a good way to close the podcast, because that's my biggest pet peeve. You're allowed to have an opinion, but yes, it's got to be educated.
It has to be educated. Give me some stats. Yeah, and I want to empower you. Like, please make your own choice about this, because this is
it's your body. I don't care what you do.
Yeah, I don't care what you do. Have 15 babies. I'm sorry. Good luck. I don't want that many babies. But if you do, that's okay. And if you don't believe, like, if you can't kill a baby that's inside of you, that's also okay.
And you're entitled.
You're just entitled to your opinion.
I'm just pro freedom. I'm not pro choice. I'm pro freedom. Stop.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't even think about it like that. Yeah. It is this is supposed to be a free country, and obviously we have to have rules. I get it, but when you start limiting what people can do behind closed doors to their own body, like, when are you going to limit tattoos? Mm-hmm. When are you going to say those aren't allowed anymore?
And also with no medical evidence behind it, there's no reason where they're like, we're stopping abortions, late-term abortions because happening. X, Y, and Z. They're just stopping late-term abortions
because it's wrong.
Because they feel like it.
Yeah.
And right and wrong are very dangerous things.
They are.
To be stuck on.
Especially because this is a choice.
Yeah.
That one person, maybe two, need to make. Not a state. The state does not have to have a stance.
Separation of church and state? What?
Yeah. Oh my God. Isn't that such a thing?
I don't know. Is it? That's
so weird. Yeah, you make your own opinion, please. Like, if you are anti-abortion, good for you. And I commend you on that. And I would love to hear what you have to say. And I think that's the difference between Juliet and I and those people in Kansas City that you met, unfortunately.
Well, I think we both believe in a free country, but we have different ideas of what free means.
Yeah, and I think, that's really frustrating.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
It was also interesting because I really just was questioning why she believed what she believed. And I got very attacked for it, and of course you have to take my opinion for it, but I was very mellow in the way I was asking, because I honestly was just like...
wondering.
Maybe there is a reason that this is bad, and no, I just got yelled at, it's fine.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, like, if she really felt that strongly about it...
She had an abortion, that was the other thing. She told me...
Oh, this is right, this was the big kicker of the story.
The big kicker was that after she's telling me that, she's like, I've had an abortion, I've been through it. And I know what it feels like to kill your baby, and Jesus has saved me. And I told her, I said, I'm so happy that Jesus saved you and that you've found a new life. This is incredible. I said, but isn't it convenient that after you had the choice to have a baby or not, now you don't believe in it?
Yeah.
And I just got more fire and fury. But of course, that was kind of disrespectful. But
at this point, I think you had already been disrespected at that point in the conversation.
Yeah,
like, by being yelled at.
I was just like, whatever. But that really, to me, is just, I hate hypocritical. I hate false information, and I hate hypocrites.
Yeah, you just, have your opinion about whatever you want.
Yeah.
But make sure it's an educated opinion, and make sure that you don't scream it at people. And that you don't get angry. Yeah. And just because you are now a Christian doesn't make your entire past go away. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't mean that you can't own the past that you had, right?
Yeah, or allow people to make their own decisions and maybe find Jesus in their own time.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, maybe Jesus is just around the corner for them.
Yeah.
Or
Buddha
or whoever or whatever you believe in. John Smith, isn't that the Mormon guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, like, whatever you believe in, just make sure it's really what you believe in and you can stand up for it, but don't hate on other people for believing in something else.
I mean, the basis of Christianity is what, Lindsay?
to live like Christ.
And I don't see Christ yelling at anybody or
No.
forcing them to do things. He was like, hey, I'm going to go do some stuff.
He was like,
it's
hey.
good. I believe in it.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I'm
Watch
gonna
me
hang out
do
with
it.
everybody.
And then he's like,
The
watch
tax
me
collectors.
do it. Watch me do
I'm
it.
gonna make this water into wine. That was my favorite part.
Well, he should have been around like yesterday.
I know. We could have really used it.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to have to wrap this up because we're just going to get too mad. But please like and comment. Like, I want to know why you think the way you think. Lindsay wants to know why
We want to
think.
know. Send us emails.
Comment. Get into wars in our comment feed. Well, don't get into wars.
Don't get into wars.
But get into
Juliet,
good,
what are you trying to stir up?
Good heated discussions
Yeah,
about
like
facts.
Let's talk about it because obviously these abortion bans. I mean, I think a lot of people have said it right when they're like, "Fuck this abortion ban."
Yeah.
And for me, the step backwards is the scariest part of it all
Oh yeah.
because
You're losing something that we fought really hard to get.
we fought so hard.
I didn't fight, but our female kind fought.
Our female kind fought, and you know, there's no point in making something not accessible. Like, I mean, sure, make meth not accessible. That's probably a good idea.
If you make meth accessible, I'm still not going to do it. Just like
yeah, just to let you know.
Just to let you know. But also, just like abortions, if I don't want to have an abortion, I'm not going to get one. If I want one, I want to have the option, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
If there's meth available, I'm not going to be like, oh, well, now that it's available,
Now that it's over the counter,
I'm going to go get meth.
just like my deodorant.
So wet.
Well, yeah. Anyway, guys, let us know what you think, and we will catch you next time.
We'll catch you next time. Stay safe out there and educated.
Yes.
This has been Clear Off Topic.
I'm Lindsay.
I'm Juliet.
Guys.
Bye.